يذر صاحبة ولا ولدا، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وبارك على محمد وآل محمد، وتفضل على محمد وآل محمد، وتحنن على محمد وآل محمد كما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتفضلت على أحد من أوليائك وعبادك الصالحين. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات، تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات، إنك مجيب الدعوات، إنك قاضي الحاجات، إنك على كل شيء قدير. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. اللهم إن هذين المسجين قدامنا عبداك وابن عبديك وابن أمتيك نزلوا بك وأنت خير منزول به. اللهم إنا لا نعلم منه خيرا وأنت أعلم بهما منا. اللهم إن كانا محسنين فزد في إحسانهما، وإن كانا مسيئين فتجاوز عنهما واغفر لهما. اللهم إنهما وإنا لا نجد من دونك ملتحدا، فاغفر لنا وارحمنا وعافنا واعف عنا. اللهم انصرنا على القوم الكافرين، اللهم انصر المظلومين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. همکنون وداع با پیکر شهید پرچمدار مقاومت شهید اسماعیل هنیه.
These are live images that we're getting right now, capital Tehran, where the funeral procession prayers are being led by leader of Iran's Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Khamenei. Also, we can see in attendance a number of high-ranking officials, the newly inaugurated Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian. Also, we can see head of Iran's judiciary, Ghulam Hossein Mohseni, all attending the funeral processions and the prayers in the Iranian capital Tehran. A farewell to the assassinated Hamas official and political bureau chief Ismail Haniyeh. We can see mourners have also showed up in their numbers to participate in the funeral procession. This funeral procession will be marched towards Azadi Square, the iconic Tehran Square, and subsequently Ismail Haniyeh will be taken to Doha and he will be laid to rest there. Hamas official Ismail Haniyeh was also earlier addressing the funeral processions taking place in the Iranian capital, Tehran. Joining us in our studio in Tehran, we have expert in West Asia affairs, Mr. Hossein Kanani Moqaddam. Sir, it's great to have you with us here at Press TV. And initially, let's start off with your views on the repercussions and implications of this terrorist assassination that took place in Tehran.
The leader of Iran's Islamic Revolution, Today, what we are witnessing shows that the resistance front all over the world is united in this funeral procession for our dear brother Ismail Haniyeh, leader of the resistance front, Hamas. And of course, all of these people came here and they stood right behind the leader in this prayer, which symbolizes that they will continue to support all of the resistance front martyrs like Lieutenant General Qasem Soleimani. And just as you heard in the slogans that were chanted and the placards that they are holding, you can see that on the placards it reads that Haniya, I hope that this martyrdom serves you well and finds you in peace. Well, there are different reactions on social media and different television channels and different messages of condolences coming from officials condemning the Zionist regime of Israel, particularly Netanyahu himself and the United States, who are complicit in committing this crime, because they thought that by assassinating the leaders of the resistance front, such as people like Imad Muqdiyah and also Lieutenant General Qasem Soleimani and Ismail Haniyeh and Haj Mohsen in Lebanon, they think that they will achieve their objectives, but this is a very clear miscalculation coming from the part of the enemy. And in the heart of Tehran, which is the heart of the resistance movement, they have actually committed an act that will lead to their own destruction. And now they are moving further towards their own destruction. And just as the leader has stated, we will definitely give them a response. And just as you saw in Operation True Promise, which was a very small example of the power of the Islamic Republic of Iran in fighting against the Zionist regime, so we will soon be witnessing this response, and from Yemen to Hezbollah to the Hashd-e-Sha'bi in Iraq and those fighting in Syria, all of the Muslim fighters of the resistance, and also the Quds, they will all unite in order to deal a blow to the Zionist regime in response to this. And they will show the world that the Zionists are not, they do not have any regard for any kind of international law, and they only want to move forward with their war. They are against peace.
So once again, we're watching live images from the Iranian capital, Tehran. The funeral procession, which started earlier, has now turned into a march towards the Azadi Square, a farewell ceremony for the assassinated Hamas official Ismail Haniyeh in the Iranian capital, Tehran. Mr. Kanani Muaddam, listening to the comments of the leader of Iran's Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Khamenei, and also other Iranian officials, the Iranian president, the Iranian parliament speaker who was speaking at the funeral procession just earlier, about a response here. International law, of course, has been violated yet again by the Israelis at the UN. Iran, at the recent emergency United Nations Security Council session, Iran said it reserves the right to give a decisive response to the regime. What response are you expecting to see, not just from Iran, but from the resistance front as a whole in its entirety?
خب به نظر میرسه که با تجربه‌ای که در
Well, it seems that considering the experience that we had in the Operation True Promise, we are expecting a hybrid response with different dimensions. Part of it would be a diplomatic response on an international scale in the UNSC, and coming up with a resolution against the Israeli regime in the UNSC with the help of our allies. We are currently negotiating in order to move forward with that, and they will do what they can from there. Hezbollah is also preparing itself for a response because of the martyrdom that happened in the heart of Tehran, and also the martyrdom of Haj Mohsen, and they will definitely give a very strong response to the Zionists. Also the Hashd al-Sha'bi in Iraq, they will also give a response to the Zionist regime, because we do know that this was with the help of the US that Trump martyred Abu Mahdi al-Mohandes and Lieutenant General Qasem Soleimani, violating the sovereignty of Iraq. And now they are all united in supporting the people of Gaza, and we are witnessing a new intifada, and all of the resistance movement fighters from all the different groups, all the jihadi groups, they are all preparing themselves for a very strong response. Of course, what the Islamic Republic of Iran will do in order to use its military hardware, for example, like missiles and drones and other military hardware, is something that it is a right that the Islamic Republic of Iran reserves, and this is something that is accepted by the international community because they violated Iran's sovereignty and assassinated a guest, Ismail Haniyeh, who was a guest in the heart of Tehran, and martyred him. Of course, there are also other tools that we have at hand in order to use them, and we have all options on the table right now. And the Zionist regime, of course, is seeking war right now, and they want to drag the US into the region, into this quagmire in this region. But we will definitely give a response in a way that it will definitely prevent the Israeli regime from its deterrence power. We will not use the ping-pong strategy for us to hit and then for them to respond. That is not the strategy that we're taking. We will deal a blow, they will not be able to respond. And of course they did make a very huge mistake in their calculations, and the US is now involved in a crisis within a crisis. That is according to a strategy of the Zionist regime, as they started attacking Lebanon by creating a crisis there in order to come out of the crisis that it had caused in Gaza. But this time, definitely the Zionist regime has moved several steps closer to its annihilation. And the Imam of the resistance, Ayatollah Khamenei, rightfully mentioned that we will definitely
تهدید رژیم صهیونیستی رو
move in a direction where the threats of the Zionist regime will be completely removed, and we will defend the rights of the Palestinian people with all our power. And we are sure that all the freedom seekers around the world, whether they're Muslim or not, from different races, from different religions, they will all support the Islamic Republic of Iran in its response.
Okay, sir, I'm sorry to jump in there. We're going to cross